Hi everyone, in this video we are going to briefly discuss a few of the new state laws that have been put into place to try to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and eventually reach those standards set by the Kyoto Protocol. So let's briefly go through these. The first one was actually called the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. So this one was pretty neat because it was the first cap and trade program set up for carbon dioxide, but essentially what they did is they capped all of their levels in the year 2009, and they all made the pledge that they were going to reduce their emissions by 10% by the year 2019. So they have about 4 more years to accomplish this goal. But this was primarily 10 of our northeastern states that assigned this one or signed this agreement. Now the second one that we did was called the Midwestern Regional Greenhouse Gas, this one's a little bit longer, Reduction Accord. So this one was signed by 6 Midwestern states and several different Canadian provinces. So this one was a multi-sector cap and trade, but essentially their mission was more of a long-term goal, and their goal is to reduce the number of greenhouse gas emissions by 60 to 80%. And so in all actuality, what they are saying is their goal is to be at 20% of their current emissions. So that's a very lofty goal, and I am super impressed by that, and I really hope they accomplish it. All right, number 3, the third one we want to talk about. This one more focused on the development of new energy instead of actually cutting their emissions. And this one was called the Western Climate Initiative. And so this one also included several of our Canadian provinces. And so what they did is they must, from here on out, they must report all their emissions on an annual basis. So no matter what's going on, they have to be honest and they have to report their emissions. Now, the second part of the agreement is that they promise they're going to do everything they possibly can to develop new sources of energy or green energy sources. So even though they're not fully focusing on reducing the amount of emissions, they are focusing on a different part of the problem, which is we need to develop new ways or new sources of energy. And the last one, which is probably my favorite out of all 4 of these, this was done at the city level. And so this one was called the U.S. Mayors, and so it was a bunch of mayors that got together, Climate Protection Agreement. And so this one was really neat. And essentially what it was is 227 cities got together. So that includes about 44 million people. And they all agreed that they were going to do whatever they can for their city to accomplish those standards set by the Kyoto Protocol. So the one that was set forth in 1997, all of these cities, so 227 cities, said, hey, we're going to do everything we possibly can to hit those standards. And so it's a work in progress. Obviously, we're going to continue moving forward, but it was one of these really neat things that all these mayors did at the city level. So my question is, did the mayor of Austin sign the agreement? So now you're going to have to Google this, and while you're Googling it, I really want you to look, was your city included in this? So if you're in Houston, was Houston included? Was San Antonio included? But just check out your city as well as answer this question. Go. Did you get an answer? Hopefully you did, and the mayor of Austin definitely did sign this protection agreement. So yay for Austin. And so from what I can tell, most of the other cities that are involved in our Chemist program did actually sign on with this agreement as well, but not all of them. So some of you can try to maybe put a little pressure on your mayor or just do your part to try to protect our planet the best we can. The last thing I want to point out is that what's really neat about Austin is we have an Austin Community Climate Plan. And so we're trying to get the entire Austin community to come together and eventually accomplish carbon neutrality. So now they have a very, very specific definition for this, so I don't want to get it wrong. So let's quote them exactly. So their goal is to have net zero community-wide, so this is everybody, every person who drives, every person that works here, community-wide greenhouse gas emissions, here's the important part, by the year 2050. So we have a few years to get there, but we're not there yet. We definitely do not have a net zero community-wide greenhouse gas emissions, but we have some time. Good luck, guys. Take care of yourself. Drink tons and tons of water.